Colorado 4x4 van, and recently had a birthday, and I've got a box of loot for the truck. I'll show you today. So I think I'll go through that and show you what came for the truck. Here's the first thing. It's the VHF, UHF, it's an amateur ham radio used for communication in the truck, so I'll mount this in there. Had pretty good reviews. 25 watts of power, so powerful, but not, not real high-end stuff. So, but would be good for, communicating between vehicles when we're driving around and stuff. And it's something that you need in this level of truck if you're ever out in the middle of nowhere. You can send out calls for help, things like that. Much more powerful than a CB, for instance. So that came for the truck. Here's a regulator. It's going to allow me to put two tanks in and one out. It has an automatic changeover. So when one tank runs out, it'll automatically switch to the second tank. And I got this for underneath the bed there for when I set up the LP system. That's coming up. This was on Amazon. I'll put links to all this stuff below. This is about $40 on Amazon. Not too expensive. Here's the magnetic antenna for the UHF radio. Has a magnetic base, wires in. Came rated pretty well, so I'm hopeful it'll be okay. Like I said, my first time using UHF VHF, so I have a CB in the van, but UHF VHF is new to me. So, and for the ham part, I'm gonna have to actually take classes and get licensed for that. So, some things to look forward to. There's the antenna for the radio. Manual for the turbo on the truck for the Mercedes engine. Maintenance and rebuild guide. Hopefully I won't need that for a long time, but we got it just in case. The license plate. Now if you'll remember, the van has the Van Halen plate on the front. The truck, it's going to be named Serenity. So this is the Serenity plate. And if you're familiar with the short-lived TV show, you'll know what it is. But not to be a total fanboy, but one of my favorite shows ever. And the whole theme of Serenity, the ship, that's the name of the ship in the show. It matches with what our philosophy is with the truck. So this plate's going to go on the new truck when it gets here. Okay, we got a charge programming cable for the UHF VHF radio. Apparently you can download things off of it, use software like Chirp, or there are other softwares also. You can program in, name your stations, which ones you want to check on when you scan, things like that. You program it and then you upload it back into the radio using a computer, and you need a cable like this that matches your radio. So got that to do that. And the next group of stuff is stuff that I've been waiting for a long time, and even though it wasn't really a gift, it was something that happened to come at that time. And that's the Truma stuff. This is the frost control valve. You hook this up, and if it senses, like you leave your truck outside, it senses that it's cold, it will automatically drain the Truma so that it doesn't freeze and break in there. So that's something that I got for it. This is the input, the intake and exhaust pipe. Just like my fireplace, it has it intakes. This bigger outer ring is the intake for air intake into the unit, and then this center pipe is the exhaust that goes out. Very similar to my fireplace heater that I did before, and there's a video on that, you can see that. But that's the hose for that. Here is the control unit for the Truma. Very small. That's what you use to control it, set your settings, set your temperature, turn it on and off, all those things. And you got a power cord back here, and then it uses a standard internet jack to communicate with the main unit, which I have pre-wired in the truck, so that worked out good. I'll mount that. I'll show you that here in a little bit. These are some other odds and ends. There's a communication cable, some fittings for the water pipes, another cable, I'm not sure what that's for, some other pieces. Instruction manuals for the control unit. For some reason they sent me two. I'm not sure why, but I got two of those. Here's a manual for the boiler unit itself, a cover for the back of it, a drain pipe it looks like, and some mounting screws, some other stuff. Just some of the accessories for the unit itself. This is the flue that mounts to the outside. I'm going to have to drill a hole to the outside of the truck compartment there. This slides in. Like I said, the outer jacket of that tube I showed you slides on there. The inner one slides in there. And this is what you see outside. I ordered it black. Hopefully that'll match our eventual color scheme. I'm not sure. That's that piece. This is the Truma itself. This is the Combi 6E. So not that big. You got your water and gas back here. Your electrical hooks in back here. It does have an electrical component to it also, so you can run heat your water with electric, 230 volt. I don't think I'll be using that, just the gas component. But there's the unit itself, and now I'm going to see if I can set it in there in that space I had for it and see if it's actually going to fit. Well, it looks like it's going to fit in there just perfectly. So yeah, here's the flue. That orange wire cable is for the electrical if you want. Back here you've got your water, your gas, and then the cold water's on the bottom. Up front here you've got 4 outputs for heat registers. But as you can see in the space that I left for it, it's plenty of space there. And then up here, you can see behind my water pipes, back here, that's where all the control stuff is. There's a cover for that. Your communication cable plugs in there. Your various other things, your fuses are there, things like that. So it should be easy to get to maintain. All one unit, boiler and furnace, small, not very heavy. I guess it weighs about 35 pounds, the unit itself, when it's empty. 10 liters of water, hot water inside, so that's, you know, about 2.5 gallons. So should be perfect for what we're going to do, and supposedly very, very efficient as far as the gas. And I've seen quite a bit of talk lately about you know, a diesel heater versus propane, which is what I'm using. Diesel, the main reason is so you have one fuel. Your truck uses it, your heating uses it, your cooking can use it, or you can use electric for cooking as well. I wasn't as concerned about that. I knew I wanted the fireplace back here anyway, so I was going to have propane for that. So I found the best propane boiler furnace I could find, and right now this is supposedly one of the best in the world right here. So we'll see. But I've got the you know, we have the propane will go back in this corner still. I've got these water tanks pushed over that way so I could walk back there. But it looks like I have plenty of room to center those, cleat them in, put all my water pump, filtration, all that stuff back in that corner. There's a floor drain there. The vents are there already. That curled up, that's one of those, is a vent for the tanks. So yeah, it looks like it's going to fit perfectly under here. So if I get a chance this week, I can get this installed and start to build my partition walls in between all this stuff to do two things: to separate the water from everything else, but also to support the bed frame above. And then I'll have compartment doors underneath that will open up for different places, and that's how I'll do that. We'll have the same mattress on this as we have in the van now, so we can fold that in half, tie it up, put it to one side to access, say, the propane, and then move to the other side if I need to get over here and do anything with this stuff. But truthfully, the only stuff I should have to get in regularly to look at will be changing out propane tanks once, and if I do it right with the 3, hopefully that means, I haven't decided 2 or 3 yet, so we're still debating that, but even with 2, I'm hoping that'll be enough for a season, for a year, for doing the cooking and the heating in here. So we'll see how it goes, but that's the plan so far. I have one other thing to show you, and I'm sad to say that I made a mistake, but it's recoverable. It's recoverable. I got the door installed for the cassette toilet and the faceplate made for inside. You need 2 hands to open it, and I'll do that here in just a second, but it actually went in pretty easily. There's just one minor mistake I made on the inside, and I'll show you that here in a second. There are 2 buttons that you press that open the door, one on top, one on bottom, so that makes it a 2-hand deal. But there's the opening. There's where the cassette will be, and the other good news is I've got the same aluminum siding here. I reuse that for this, so it all looks the same. When it gets painted up, it'll look nice and good. The other good news is I think I've figured out the SOG system. Very confusing, and everything's in, there are English, basic English instructions, but it's mostly in German. And there are some pictures, but not always clear. And I watched some YouTube videos, and I didn't like how they did it. Some do-it-yourselfers did it, so I think I've got it figured out, and that'll be in a future video. So it's going to work out great without having to modify anything on the Thetford toilet at all, except for what a couple of attachments that they send specifically for it. So that was good. I figured it out. I'm glad. But as for the mistake, well, I overcut a little bit. You can see it there. You can see a little bit there. Luckily, there's going to be another layer in here of waterproof material, and that'll cover that up, so you won't see that. But you get excited with the template, and you put it on there, and you start cutting, and you don't even second guess whether that's a good idea or not. You just do it, and then, yeah, this is what you get. So I should have been more careful once I got through the metal walls. Then, you know, I have 3/4 inch of spray foam, and then the inner plywood. Hey, gee, I know. I should have been more careful and just cut a smaller hole and then felt in there and slowly did it, but uh-oh, somebody wants to get in the camera. Hi, G. Oh, yeah, I know. You want in. Okay, okay. So yes, I should have been more careful with that. I didn't. So I'm lucky that there's going to be another layer in there, and it'll cover that up. You'll never see that. So that project got done last weekend, and now the Truma's here, so I'm excited this week. Hopefully, if work's not too busy. But the biggest news of the whole week is the truck is going to be in Houston Wednesday night of this week, right before Thanksgiving. So I'll probably be going down Friday to pick it up and bring it back. So that is the latest news on that. So like I thought earlier in the last update, there's a lot of things happening at the end of this month. The biggest things being the Truma and the truck, and they are here. And special thanks to Ralph Radke. I hope I'm saying your name right. Ralph is a Unimog guy over in Germany, Hamburg, Germany, who helped me get the Truma here. The company in England that I finally found that would sell it to a DIY guy, they would not ship it to the U.S., but they would ship it to Germany. So I had him ship it to Ralph. He has a company that ships to the U.S., and he repackaged it up for me and sent it over, and I got it, you won't believe this, in 2 days. From Hamburg, Germany to my doorstep, 2 days. I can't even get stuff from Amazon here locally in 2 days, so it was amazing. So that's special thanks to Ralph. I'll put a link to his channel below too. He does some amazing trips in his Unimog and otherwise. He just got back from a 6-week trip in Africa, which I'm very envious. He looks like he had a great time. Saw beautiful, beautiful scenery there. So check out his channel. Not that he needs any help from me, but I really appreciate everything you did. Thanks. The next thing on my loot list is some manuals in English. The first Mercedes-Benz stuff, well, technically I own the truck, but the first Mercedes merchandise that I'm in possession of, let's put it that way. These manuals are for Unimogs of the same age as the 917, but that has the same motor. So I got that manual. Here's number 1. You can see that. Here's number 1, number 2 manual. They're official Mercedes-Benz service manuals, and they're in English. I got those from Atkinson Voss over in England. Many people that I queried about it, many people suggested them for manuals in English. Now, while they don't have manuals for the 917, they did have, like I said, these manuals that cover a lot of the same parts, especially though the motor, the OM366A motor. And so I'll be able to service it, and if I need to hand these over to, I think I've got a local mechanic in mind that is experienced with the truck, but if I ever needed them for just a regular diesel mechanic, I can give him these and he'll be able to see the part numbers, see everything he needs to do to maintain the motor. So, and once again, much like the Truma, 2 days from England to my doorstep. 2 days. I said, I don't know how they do it. Apparently we get better service here when we ship from Europe than we do from shipping from our own country. It's amazing, but that's the way it is. So anyway, I am now able to service my engine when I get it here. And finally, on my list of stuff, I got some things for the upcoming truck drive. Trucks that size, you have to have flares and a fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher I'll pick up at a Home Depot or something down in Houston when I get the truck. But for flares, I got these LED flares. They stay solid or they flash. They're magnetized, so you can stick them on the truck or put them on the ground. Anyway, that's for in case I need those in an emergency. I don't know if the truck has a radio, but I did get a RAM mount for my iPad so I can have my tunes. I've got a radio, 1224 volt radio that has Bluetooth, so I'll be able to put that in if it doesn't have one. I don't think it does. And then I got some cheap speakers that can just sit up on the dash for now, because 1,100 miles is a long way to go without any tunes. And while some people wear earphones, I'm not a big fan of that. I like to hear what's going on around me, the motor or whatnot. So I'll probably just throw these on the dash or do something real temporary to get some tunes for the drive back. Maybe the end of the first day of driving, I'll throw that together in the hotel parking lot or something, just so that I have some music on the way back. The other things I got a backup camera, which will be necessary for this size of rig. This is a pretty nice one, but I don't think I'll be putting that on for this trip. There's no box on the back. I can see out the back just fine, so I probably won't need that. But yeah, I've been watching this for about 2 years, and it was $180, something like that. It came down to $70 just recently for some reason. I'm not sure why. So I jumped on that, got that. I think that's all I have for you guys for this week. Busy week this coming up with the truck coming and everything, so I will try to have a video the end of next week. No, I can't. It will be the end of the week after that. The end of the week following week. I'll hope to have a video showing the truck and some of the footage of driving back, and hopefully all goes well, knock on wood, that I'll be back in one piece and the truck will be all I hope it is. I have assurances from everyone that I'm going to love it, but until I actually have it, I will see how it goes. So, until next time.